What up, 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 what's up out there, America? What's good with you? It's your boy Rod. This is my boy Don in the building. What's
Yes,
good with
sir.
you, D? You
Oh
good?
man, I'm so excited. What an interesting week 11 so far. I'm looking
Yep.
for a beautiful finish to the week with the
Yeah,
Niners
yeah.
doing their thing in Mexico City. Very
I see.
excited about it.
No
We're gonna
doubt.
see what happens, man.
No
How's
doubt,
everything with
no
you?
doubt. Well, look, if y'all look anything like my Cowboys did yesterday, y'all should be fine. So listen,
Oh
I
God.
need y'all to do me a favor before we get into another exciting episode of Brooklyn Beer and Ball Sports Show. Listen, I need you to smash that like button. All right, smash the like button. I need you to subscribe. I need
Yes.
you to share, and I need you to hit that notification button. All right, do me that just. All right, make sure you hit the all so every time content pops up here at Brooklyn Beards and Balls Sports Show, you will get the notifications and you can see what D and I be talking about as we be ripping up these sports streets, man, and representing the culture like we do, man. So D, I'm ready, bro. You ready to do this?
I'm ready. Let's get into it.
Let's get it.
Week 11 recap. We got so much to discuss, but
So
before we
much.
do, as promised, let's talk about Brett Favre. Okay.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
You would think that nothing has happened,
Mm-hmm.
based on what has been alleged, what text
Right.
messages between city officials has
Yep.
taken place. So it hasn't been getting so much press as you would think it would be. I mean, Brett
Right.
Favre is a prominent former NFL quarterback, winning quarterback. I mean,
Yeah.
he's a household name. I mean, he was doing Wrangler commercials, doing all kind of stuff.
Right.
And now that his name has been associated with some very, very questionable, immoral, illegal acts, we hear nothing about it.
Facts.
So it goes from him being a fake philanthropist, acting as if number one, Mississippi, he's abusing the taxpayers. He
Yep.
is ultimately what he is accused of, and we say alleged, but
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
the only alleged part is that obviously he hasn't been formally charged to the degree or found guilty or convicted. That's why we're using the alleged. But what is
Right.
alleged is that pretty much the poorest state in our country.
Yep.
He actually was getting paid for speeches that he never made. He got taxpayers' money that should have been going. He basically ripped off the Mississippi welfare system,
Yep.
and that money should have been appropriated towards the people that need it the most. Brett Favre,
Right.
over the course of his career, has had a very lucrative career, and outside of that, he has made money with sponsors. He had all type of sponsors and money that he didn't need to go that route. If you wanted a
Right.
gym built, if you
Mhm.
wanted a gymnasium, if you wanted anything, any type of statue or anything that you wanted, you could have funded it yourself. But instead, you colluded with officials and used your name. You used your powers for bad, for evil,
Right.
instead of using it for good.
Right.
And as a result, of course, what's done in the dark always comes to light. And there's text
Right.
messages. Hey, listen, will they know where the money came from? So he was fronting like he was putting forth all this money, and he was this great philanthropist. And as it turned out, he was ripping off poor people and putting himself out there. Yeah, look what I did. I'm building
Yep.
this for this school, and I'm funding it. It's a kind of it's not kind of, it's very despicable.
It is.
It's really base. He's a low individual for doing such stuff. But you know what's amazing? We don't hear anything about it. It doesn't
That
make the
part.
press. It doesn't. Every news cycle, ESPN, Fox Sports One, they talked about it maybe once, maybe twice, and that was
Right.
it.
That's
And
it.
my question is how come someone that does this? I mean, he's not just your Joe Blow fly of the night player. He has had a very really good career, and
Oh,
he's
great career.
referenced a lot with his play and all of that stuff. How is something if you have that type of notoriety for the things they say positive that you did on the court and the field? Why isn't he getting that same energy when he does something bad? I mean, we look at other sports figures; they do stuff wrong. They're put on blast. Well, perfect example. We could talk about Kyrie, his situation. Now, people will say it's apples and oranges, which is true. But if it is holding a sports figure to task based on their actions, then all things being equal, they should have both been in a constant news cycle as to what they've done, wrong. Floor is yours. I mean, he's just he's getting a huge pass, and there's some other stuff that we'll touch on that he has done, but the floor is yours.
No, D, I think you said it best, but I'll have to say this. I disagree with the masses when they say that these are apples, or this situation is apple and oranges in comparison to Kyrie. Look, what Kyrie did, I understand to a certain measure how some people can interpret what he did to incite hate speech, right? And then ultimately, it can lead to fear into certain communities and certain things that can certainly put people at risk with bodily harm or death. We've seen attacks in different ethnic groups and different things of that nature. And again, that wasn't Kyrie's intent. That wasn't something that he deliberately tried to do or to incite. Okay, like some type of insurrection of some kind. But I know that's a whole nother topic in itself too. But let me be clear here: the two are the same, and here's why. Because even with that, the fear of many communities saying that what Kyrie did or what Kanye did incite riot, it induced hate crime or hatred within a certain group or for a certain group of people in community. Well, how is that different than ripping off poor people who can't pay their rent, can't afford their mortgages, can't put two nickels together to put food on their table, people that are impoverished, people that are trying to make ends meet the best that they can. And the only way that most of those families, which is predominantly the black ones, let's just be honest with you, okay, that are in those very poor places and cities and regions within the state of Mississippi, they're relying on that funding. They're relying on state funding to help them get by and to be able to at least provide for their families in some type of decent way, right? Well, it's no different. I mean, why is that different? I mean, it's still hurtful. It's still something that's denigrating. You're still stealing. You're still robbing. You're still hurting communities of people and families and their livelihood. And so for Brett Favre, who easily with his celebrity could have raised money easily. He could have donated his speeches and monies that he got for the speeches he never showed up for, right?
Right.
But he could have established organizations within his name and non-for-profit organizations and raise money like most other athletes and celebrities do for important causes. He's trying to raise money, I think, for his daughter's volleyball team, get them a stadium. I mean, really, is that necessary? Now, look, I'm not against sports and maybe enhancing certain facilities and stuff, because we know in the South, particularly in states like Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana, Florida, sports is huge, right?
It's
and
everything.
it's a way out for a lot of people within their communities. But I mean, really, to use state funding, you could have easily generated monies from other avenues and other ways. And here's the other thing, right? I didn't see any of his endorsements pulled. Nothing like that happened.
Nothing.
And I know in the Constitution, it's innocent until proven guilty, but at least that's what it says. But we know for the most part, that's not the way our justice system operates. So let's just be honest here. Why wasn't any of the bigger question to me is how come any of his endorsements weren't pulled? Okay, much less him being not even spoken of. The national media doesn't cover it at all. And I do wonder why. It makes you wonder and think, what is it that he might be connected to, or who is it that he's connected to keep this under the radar to the degree in which they have? I mean, yeah, it's out there, but it's certainly not getting the news, and it's not polarizing to people in the way that other people and their comments and their actions have taken center stage. So I'm a bit concerned with that the fact that Wrangler, as you just mentioned, and many of the other products that he endorses has not been pulled. And even this company that he stood behind and also used money to fund their research for work that wasn't even FDA approved, some nasal drip or spray stuff to somehow combat concussions. I mean, listen, this is deplorable. This is something that reeks stench all over the place. I'm not happy with it, and I think Brett Favre should be called to the carpet. And this thing deserves more attention because it's not getting the attention it deserves, unlike the other stuff that we've seen.
Of course, and Rod, just to further, according to CBS, in the summer of 2017, Favre began to ask then Mississippi Governor Philip Bryant for funding for a new volleyball facility at the University of Southern Mississippi, his alma mater, the same school in which his daughter played volleyball. Text messages from August 3rd, 2017 show Favre asking founder Nancy knew about the privacy regarding payments to him. And this is a quote, "If you were to pay me, is there any way the media can find out where it came from and how much?" he asked.
Wow.
How low down can you get?
Wow.
How slimy can you get?
Wow.
I mean, and you know, him getting a pass is just it just reconfirms that there are double standards all over. There is so much hypocrisy. There is so much, you know, we're going to make the media, society sometimes will decide who they want to cancel and who they don't want to cancel.
Absolutely.
If it's something that is egregious and it's something that, I mean, there is no justification to let this person slide. Now, Brett Favre, outside of his career, if everyone remembers, he's had a very checkered past. And I'm not here to judge anybody's past, but remember when he was with the Jets, he had a scandal, a texting scandal.
And there's the text messages again. He does a lot of stuff.
He likes to, he should, hey, listen, talk in person. That's that. You have a one-to-one, have a one-to-one meeting, talk face-to-face, because the text can and will be used against you. So he had a texting, a scandal.
Right.
But of course, his production was greater than what they felt him causing a liability to a said company. And at that time, it was the Jets. So they tolerated it. Right. All of these people that are still siding with him and not cutting ties, severing ties like they did with other individuals, other sports figures, other public figures. It speaks, and everybody should take note of these companies because their money is being made a lot of times by those people that they were okay with him ripping off. The consumers are the ones that make your money. Brett Favre is just a figurehead. He's just a representation of the company. But make no mistake about it, those Wranglers, he ain't buy all them Wranglers, right?
Right.
You know, how much time can you, I don't care if his elbow and his knee feels better and Copperfield, whatever that brand is that he's using.
I forgot about that one. Yeah.
So, you know, to feel, I feel like I can go right back into the NFL. People that you are potentially ripping off, those are the people that are supporting you. And it is a smack in their face that after they entrust you, because a company, when they use you as the representative, they're entrusting you to keep and not damage or tarnish their brand. Well, not only has he tarnished these brands, they have doubled down by not severing ties. So they really do not care about their consumer. Because Brett Favre is not, he is a paid sponsor. He's a paid spokesperson. He's speaking for the company, but obviously he's using his notoriety, his celebrity to endorse said company. They should act swiftly, and they should have been acted. But, you know, it just goes to show people should be aware that, you know, really these companies do not care. You know, at the end of the day, as long as you, they respect your dollar, but they don't respect you.
That's what it always boils down to, D. That's it in a nutshell. Because a lot of these companies, they do not care, as you stated so eloquently, about the consumer. And impoverished neighborhoods are just that to them. They feel, look, that's going to be in perpetuity. And whatever we're going to get, we're going to get. I always believe, and this is just my personal belief, this is not the belief of Don or Brooklyn Balls and Beard, the talk show, our producers. Beards okay. This. Did I say it wrong?
You saying it like Green Senior.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 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 Let me make
Mixing
that
it up.
distinction. Right. Exactly. Right. Okay. But again, when you see classification, that is by design. And that is designed to be that way for particular reasons. Because if you had equilibrium within the ecosystem of finance, then that means no one is with the level of power that they need to have. So there has to be classification economically, socially, as we know, and we've seen that well documented, and still we see the effects of that today. And so that's what you have today. And so this is why that was not going to be a problem, and it still remains not a problem. And I don't think Brett Favre is going to get the attention that we are all talking about even right now, because again, that is going to be a threat to a certain power structure that is going to remain in the upper hand, and that cannot be compromised, even at the expense of people who already don't have any expenses to expend. So the problem is with this is that this is all about a community that is at the bottom of the totem pole, and I dare to say white, black, regardless of the ethnicity in Mississippi, and I'm not exactly sure of the racial makeup in Mississippi. I would imagine that it is mostly Europeans as opposed to black African Americans, but nevertheless, you got families that are impacted and poor people are affected, and that's money that could have gone to where it needed to be. And even the governor, who was over Mississippi at that time, is pushing to try to get that text message thrown out in court and not be admissible, of course. So because he's also implicated as well in that whole deal. So
of course, the marginalized get further marginalized. They double down on that. But you know what? Enough with that. Enough with that slimy individual. Let's talk some football. Let's talk some real NFL.
Yeah.
Let's recap some of the games we discussed. Let's start off with look at you. So you must already know that we're about to talk about the Cowboys.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I really don't know what's coming up next. I'm just stretching.
See, listen, I don't know why you're stretching. Number one, you picked your team to lose.
I did.
You picked your team to lose.
I did.
Oh, rod of little faith. Because
no. Listen.
No. Don't say it was some reverse jinx, and I didn't want to jinx him, so I picked against him. So
no jinx. Listen. There are many. I am here to break the misnomer of the difference between solidified true Cowboy fans and those that are just radical, and their fanaticism comes without logic. I basically picked the Vikings to win the game because I actually thought that they were the better team. If they, you know what, if we're going to talk about the Cowboys, this will be my soliloquy right here. And then I'll let you, is that all right?
That's okay. That's fine.
That's okay. Let me just say this, okay? That the reason why, here is the thing. The Vikings, as I stated last week, would win this game if they did the one thing that I said they should do. And that is to come away from their identity as a passing team and to run the ball, okay? If they would have stayed with running the ball, even in that first quarter, the third play of the game, 3rd and 3, what did they decide to do? They decided to pass the ball. And what did you do? You played into the power of the Dallas Cowboys. Here comes Micah Parsons, sack strip. At that moment, the game was over, and they were deliberate, that being the Vikings, of trying to still pass the ball against the best pass rush in the entire National Football League. You were supposed to not pass the ball. 3rd and 3, run it again. Dalvin Cook had 11 carries for 85 yards. That's 6.5 per pop. They should have still kept giving him the ball. That's what the Green Bay Packers did last week, and they went down by 14 in the 4th quarter. So again, I said, if the Vikings stay to who they are and they pass the ball, which they love to do, they were going to be in a world of trouble, because now you play into the hands of the Dallas Cowboys and Jefferson, the great Jefferson, okay, who Diggs also shut down last year, and he shut down again yesterday, okay? People don't want to believe. Diggs is that dude. He's a true shutdown, okay? He shuts down the best team's wide receiver, and when he was on Jefferson, one catch, 3 yards. He did it with Cincinnati as well.
Let me explain to you. I disagree with you.
Diggs is the truth, D.
Listen, shutdown corners don't get passed on, right? So there's a difference. When you talk about shutdown corners, nobody dares throw it to them. People throw at Diggs all the time. So there's no respect. He may capitalize on the disrespect, but he's not a shutdown. He's not one of those people that
Okay,
you think.
I agree
No,
with you
he's
there.
not.
I agree with you there. But would you say this then? Okay, you're right, because that's what a true shutdown. Like with Dion, he was able to eat popcorn and do his taxes.
Darrell Revis, nobody,
Revis,
Cromartie, they didn't throw their way.
Agree. I totally agree.
Richard Sherman, nobody threw against. They stayed away from Richard Sherman.
Well, for the early
in the
part.
beginning, I'm not talking about now. I mean, but
Oh,
it was more of a team situation. That
I agree. Yeah, their whole secondary was good. But you know what? I stand correct on that. You're right. In the true sense of the definition of the word, yes, that is what a shutdown is. But big time receivers do not get off on the Dallas Cowboys when Trayvon Diggs is following them. Trust me, they do.
It was not that.
On him.
It wasn't. It wasn't Trayvon Diggs shutting him down. Let me explain what it was. In my opinion, Kirk Cousins did not have an opportunity to drop back and do anything.
That's true too.
So just like anything else, if you don't have an opportunity for the play to develop for your receivers to come out of their breaks, you won't have an opportunity. That's what it all was. It wasn't Diggs as much as it was Micah, Lawrence, everybody applying enormous pressure to him all the time. They were relentless. He didn't have an opportunity for anything to develop. Yeah, you can run, but once the game flow, of course, just like anything else, Dalvin Cook, it never seemed like they had any traction. Unlike last week when they played the Packers, although they were up by 14 points, it never seemed like the game was away from them. Yesterday, the game, as you said, right off the rip, when Micah came around and hit him like Lawrence Taylor and that ball came tumbling out, the game almost seemed like he seemed overwhelmed.
Yeah, he did.
You should have.
I agree.
If that's your team, and I get it, be realistic with your team. If you think that they can win, you think they can't win, or you see the deficiencies, call them out. Call them like you see it.
Absolutely.
But ultimately, Dak's record against Kirk Cousins, although it was when he was with Washington, was a superior record. Kirk Cousins in primetime games, although it's not really a primetime, it wasn't a primetime game.
It was a national televised game, though.
It was a televised game, and there were so many big ramifications based on this. Somebody here wearing a 49ers hat predicted that, number one, the Eagles would come back down to earth, and they barely squeaked out a win. They barely squeaked out a win. The Giants faltered, and once again, Dallas is slowly but surely crawling themselves back into the playoff picture and possibly winning the division. Because ultimately, we still have to, and we can't forget that the NFL is designed to have teams in it as long as possible because they want to string fan bases along as long as they can. They cannot afford, they're not adding games to the season for teams to be mathematically eliminated early. That doesn't make sense for them. They're trying to they're trying to maximize every dollar possible with every game. If they could have 20 games a season, they would. I mean, there would be 7 players on the field because everybody would be torn in half, but that wouldn't matter to them. They care about the product and it's such a polarizing sport.
I agree.
People and personalities are just it gets in people's blood. They feel like, I mean, look at the Bills fans. People are jumping in 2-degree weather, jumping on tables and breaking tables, like with no thought of, do you have a job? You may have to go to work tomorrow, but your back is broken, and the Bills care less. They're not going to pay your medical bills. They don't care anything about it. So these fans who are fanatics will ultimately support anything. I say all that to say is that I don't think, from Kirk Cousins' standpoint, I think he came back down to earth. All of those chains were snatched. Okay, those chains were snatched. Kirk Cousins, I think, overall, I think they're a good team, but I don't think they are. I mean, prior to this game, they were talking about being the cream of the crop, the cream of the NFC, and clearly that's not the case. What'd you say? You didn't? But
no.
I can't stop the run, D. If that was the case, you would have picked them.
I don't think they're the cream of the crop of the NFC.
Well, their record. What was their record? Their record it spoke to them being the cream of the crop.
They're 8-2 right now. But D, you have been watching football long enough to know that a midseason record, especially at this, your team went to the NFC Championship game last year and didn't even play a home game in the playoffs. Your team was a wild card. So you know better than anybody that regular season records mean absolutely
Where did we play though?
nothing.
I don't know. Refresh me. Where did we go? Where did we go and play?
Listen.
No, refresh me. Refresh.
Like I said,
give me a refreshing. I forgot.
I
forgot who we played. We brought it
up. The show
up.
started this year. I can only do this year stuff.
Okay,
I don't know about last year. I can.
Okay, we played the Cowboys for everyone that may not be familiar with what happened.
But that's what bragging rights is all about. See, I'm from the school of this when it comes to sports. You talk your talk and you talk your ish, but here's the deal. When it's all said and done and your team win, you get bragging rights. That's it. Technically speaking, I can't say anything about the 49ers when it comes to playing the Dallas Cowboys because y'all pummeled us last year in Dallas. And the way that game ended will be unforgettable, okay? It was complete buffoonery. But right now, the 49ers got bragging rights, and you're right. They're definitely, I can't say anything about that. But I never said that the Vikings were the team to beat or they're a clear favorite in the NFC. Not at all. We know they're not real. It's Kirk Cousins. We know. All I said was that if they ran the ball and they somehow stayed with it, then they would have probably beaten the Cowboys, and I did pick the Vikings to win. But I didn't have them as some premier team in the NFC. Not at all.
They're going to clearly win their division, and they're going to host a playoff game. And I don't think either one of our teams is afraid to go to Minnesota. Not at all. We will go there and we'll dismantle. I'm speaking from the 49ers. I can't speak about you guys.
Well, because we already did it. So,
it's regular season. It's regular season, right? Yeah, and just to, everyone that's potentially watching, we are in the next week or so, maybe 2 weeks. We're going to a game. We're going to an NFL game in Santa Clara. We're watching the 49ers against the Miami Dolphins. And although you're not a Dolphin fan, your brother's a Dolphin fan. And so that should be really exciting. But we did go to a game a couple of years ago, right? We did go to Dallas. And let's just talk about it. They don't know us. So we're trying we want them to learn us. Our personalities, they want to know a little bit about us, a little backstory. We did go to a Dallas 49ers game, and it happened to be in Arlington, right? And can you tell the people that are watching what happened? They just so they're up to speed with what happened.
Well, I do remember what happened. So what I recall happened was that what happened was I'm gonna have to talk to the producers about this show. We gotta go over our content again. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I mean? And make sure we're all in agreement with what we're gonna talk about. But let me say this to you: yes, y'all beat us. Y'all did beat us, and
did it turn into a sea of red? Did Dallas Stadium turn into a sea of red? Because we travel really well.
Y'all travel. I can't lie. 49er fans showed up. No, y'all travel. Y'all like Dallas Cowboy fans. Y'all travel. Y'all ain't as deep as we are, but y'all were there. As far as the masses of fans and the range of fandom that we have. But no, y'all were there. But I do recall we went 14-2 that season. How did the Niners do in that same? Since you want to talk about the past,
No, you guys did well. You guys did well.
Yeah. We did very well after that loss.
We sustained a lot of injuries that year. That's a fact. That was the year that we had player after player injured. And look at even this year. We had so many dynamic injuries, and now we're working our way back and we're getting healthy at the right time. Injuries, as we both agree, is the great equalizer. So that changes everything. And knock on wood, pray that we stay healthy. And I like our chances, making a deep run, to include Super Bowl and winning. But
I would say this. I'll end in this segment on this if I could say this, okay? Because you I just can't let you in like that. You know what I'm saying? But I will say this. No, 49ers look good. Y'all are healthy.
Thank you.
Y'all will win tonight, which I believe y'all will. It won't be a problem. The 49ers look really good. Again, as I said before, I don't want to see the 49ers. But if we play the 49ers and we beat the 49ers, I just want to let you know that the show that we're going to do, I know what I might do. I think I might fly back out to California. and might do that show right there in your living room, sir. I think I might, if we beat if we're ever to play the 49ers in the play, because I believe y'all will be there. And the 49ers,
if we win the division, so that we gotta frame this. We have to win the division, right?
Yeah.
And you guys have to lose the division, right? You just need to be a wild card team. One of us has to be a wild card team. Exactly. So we have a better chance at this point. I'm not saying it's impossible, because I think there are a few opportunities where you guys, teams ahead of you, can falter and you can ultimately win the division. But we have a better chance based on positioning now to win our division. It's a easier or more winnable division. So we win our division. You guys become a wild card team, and you have to come to listen. You can stay at my house. Come on, because I'll make sure that you're fed. You'll listen. Transportation door to door. I'll make sure that we're at the game early, and to just watch your face as we unleash.
And if we win that game, and if you serve
Uber,
I'm gonna have to get
you got to catch an Uber home. Uber, hitchhike. You got to hitchhike back home. But it's all good. Hey, listen, it's all love, brother. All right, so let's go to Chargers in Kansas City.
Oh boy.
Oh man. By the way, I'll say this: I thought everything was aligned. This is a little off subject, but it is, relative to what we're talking about, relevant. Kadarius Toney had the opportunity of a lifetime. You had Miko Hardman out of the way, Juju hurt out of the way.
Right.
It was just you and Kelsey to go full throttle, and I had him. And you know what? Foolishly, I'm playing in my fantasy league, and I'm saying which player, because I was a little concerned because they're talking about bringing Zeke back, and I'm like, which player is going to have a bigger upside? So I was going for because I was playing somebody and I'm down by points, and I'm like, who's going to have more upside? Long story short, I put Kadarius Toney in, and of course I had Travis Kelce. He saved the day.
Right.
So I'm watching the game because, obviously the Cowboys game is first, and Tony Pollard, who I predicted was going to be the more moving forward, and this was probably 3-4 weeks ago, he was going to be the more impactful, powerful back moving forward. Zeke's greatest days are behind him.
Oh yeah.
If you're on the half inch or half hash mark, then Zeke can lean forward into it. He got 2 touchdowns, but they were all 2 touchdowns for 2 yards.
Third downs too. Converted a lot of third downs too. Third and short for us. Yeah.
But I say all that to say, ultimately, I didn't play Tony Pollard. I played Kadarius Toney. Tony Pollard on my bench goes off, and Kadarius Toney 0 points. He has a hamstring issue. That's why the New York Giants, although it didn't make sense for them because they don't have necessarily a number 1 receiver, they let him go. And I had fainted unless I had to see Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce came in the clutch, 3 touchdowns, 115 yards.
Why is he so open? That guy is never covered.
He is never covered.
Why don't one ever cover him?
I don't know why. Some teams, there have been a few teams that bracket him, that kind of double him, so that if he gets a catch, he doesn't have, they swarm him.
Exactly.
But it just seems like, he seems to own the Chargers. Long story short, he owns the Chargers. I mean, Travis Kelce saved the day for me. We both picked Kansas City to win. Mahomes, once again, he makes throws only he can make. I thought it was just it was a competitive game, of course. Mike Williams was back, out again. Ankle injury.
Yep. 1 catch. That was
Keenan Allen, I don't think he did much. He might have had 2 catches.
He had a big catch in there. I think he fumbled also, and but again, not that as effective. I said that I didn't think that they were going to be effective in this first game back anyway. I think it was going to be a little time before they started to get a little rhythm. But yeah, he really went to his other boy there. I forget the guy's name, number 5. I forget his name.
It was Joshua. Joshua.
Yeah, Joshua. Yeah. Herbert was
Palmer. Joshua Palmer. Palmer is his last name.
Palmer. That's it. Palmer.
And he had a very good game. And you know, talking to people on Twitter that are in, you know, fantasy games, everybody, because they thought Keenan Allen and Mike Williams was back, they put Palmer on their bench, and Palmer goes off. It's you just never know who's going to win and who's going to do what. But
right.
Exactly. I say all that to say it was a pretty competitive game, nip-tuck for a little bit, but then ultimately, as we know, the cream always rises to the top. And that's why, you know, honestly, I can't see anyone derailing them outside of as long as Patrick Mahomes has Kelsey and he's healthy, they always have a shot.
Always have a shot. Always. He's a trusted receiver, and then that's the thing you got to understand. Great quarterbacks, you know, they've got their guys, right? I mean, Troy had Michael Irvin, you know, Steve Young with Jerry Rice, and Joe Montana had Rice, and then you look at Tom Brady with Gronkowski. There's always that guy that you can trust, and Kelsey is that guy. I mean, with Tyreek Hill gone, and of course that's a huge loss, but that guy Kelsey is clutch. He is clutch. He didn't make the big polarizing plays like Tyreek Hill did. He clearly didn't have the speed like him, but this guy always knows how to get open. And if I'm anybody playing against the Kansas City Chiefs, I don't care. I know Mahomes can sling the ball around, but I'm swarming Kelsey. Somebody else is going to have to beat me. Somebody, Peoples or
Gray.
Anybody. Listen, name anybody. Matthew, Mark, Luke, John. Get them all. Somebody else is going to have to beat me. It's not going to be Kelsey. It's just not, because that guy. Because it's when he gets the ball. It's in the moments. It's in the spots. And that's the thing that kills you. And as you stated before, D, Mahomes make throws that nobody else can throw. He's my MVP of the league, honestly speaking. I mean, I think it can go down between him and Tua, perhaps. And I know we'll have some discussions on that as we get closer to the year's end and talk about MVP candidates. But I think, man, Mahomes again, the boy is just bad. So yeah. I think Kelsey's the one you got to stop, man. In my opinion.
Yeah, and he's on a record-breaking trajectory. I mean, He's already, I mean, what does he have? 11 touchdowns or 12 touchdowns and ridiculous yards. I mean,
already got like 300 yards already. Right. We got 7 more games left. So, I mean, it's crazy.
Exactly. And not to mention Mahomes, his numbers are ridiculous. I mean, he's on.
Okay. I thought, who was you talking about?
I was talking about Kelsey.
Oh, you're talking about Kelsey. Oh, Kelsey.
Yeah.
Kelsey as far as,
yeah, because Mahomes has what? He has like 28 touchdowns or something like that.
That's what I'm saying.
His numbers are amazing, and 3,200 yards. I mean, it's sick how good and how great they can be. Yeah. So, lastly, I guess we'll talk about what we're gonna before we go to NBA. Let's talk about the game of the week. Okay. It was so good that they had to wait to Monday. They didn't want to share it with anybody else. They wanted them to have the floor. They wanted to have it's the game of the week.
The game of the week.
It's a destination wedding of games. It's a great game. Mexico City. It's going to be a special. The elevation is a gazillion. I mean, it's a mile to the stadium. They got to walk a mile. They're going to be lathered up, sweat dripping. I want to know for the 49ers, who's going to hold that boombox for that mile that they have to walk? Like, listen, don't give it to Debo. We need Debo's full strength. You remember you remember that boxing match where the Brooklyn Bomber, what's his name? He put on that stupid suit. And he said that was the reason why he lost. He put on that like 100-pound.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking
knock
about.
it off.
Right now.
That ain't the reason you lost.
Right.
What's going to put you to sleep? You know, they try to act like, yo, he had the Black Panther, like a bedazzled Black Panther suit that he walked out. Like, yo, who told you to do that? You should take a page from Mike Tyson. Just put some shorts on, rip a towel, throw it over your head, and keep it moving.
Keep it moving, bro.
As I say this. I think the 49ers will be victorious today. Kyler Murray's not playing. Colt McCoy is the starting quarterback. I'm a little more concerned when Colt McCoy plays than when Kyler Murray, because Kyler Murray, I mean, they're both relatively slight in height quarterbacks. They're both small, but I mean, Kyler Murray, he can beat you with his legs. He can extend plays, but sometimes because there is so much uncertainty in the way he plays and dragging plays out, a lot of times you'll get, people down the field that shouldn't be. He actually, using his legs, causes a lot more penalties as opposed to getting the ball out of his hand a lot faster. So DeAndre Hopkins is playing, but he's kind of nursing a hamstring injury.
Yeah.
I like our chances. I think will be. I think we're double-digit favorites, maybe because the quarterback, is the starting quarterback's not playing and DeAndre's kind of hurt. But I do think it'll be closer because I'm always, when the games seem automatic, like this is a definite blowout.
Right.
Nah, Vegas thinks differently. Vegas will be yes. Everybody will think the Niners will destroy them, and it'll be a field goal game. It'll be a 10-point spread, and they'll win by a field goal. So I do like the Niners to win. I'll say this comfortably, but the score won't reflect how comfortable the W was for us. So, we already put our predictions in. You also picked the Niners to win.
Yeah.
What do you say? Anything else about that?
No, I think you covered it all. I mean, I think when you look at their defense, they being Arizona, they're actually 6th against the run, but they're 28th against the red zone in stopping teams from scoring. So I just think again, and Colt McCoy actually hasn't played bad. I think he's 3-1 as a starter. So he hasn't played bad. So I think they can, I agree with you there. I don't think it'll be a blowout. But I just don't see this being a problem. I really think Kyle Shanahan's he's going to get in his bag today. He's got a lot of weapons to choose from. And again, I think they'll prevail against the Cardinals tonight. So yeah, I got the 49ers. And if you're going to ask me what a score is, I'm going to say Niners. I'm actually going to say Niners 27-20. That's what I got. 27-20. Yeah.
I think with Colt McCoy playing, and I think it'll be closer. I think it will be. I'll go with, because I think this might be different from my original score because I was factoring in Kyler Murray. Yeah. I think it'll be 28-24.
Okay. Wow, that's pretty close. 24. All right, wow.
Yeah.
Well,
I think it'll be close.
Divisional rival, right? So
we swept the Rams. The divisional rivalry is if you're better, you're better. You know what I mean? There is no if a superior team. Listen, let's factor this in. A team seeing you the second time, if their personnel does not meet or does not, they can't capitalize off of your weaknesses, whether it's one week or the other. What difference does it make? If you play the same, give me an example where you think a team, the second time around, they were able to make I'm talking about if it's a blowout, like a quantum leap and beat a team based on seeing them the second time.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of teams that split during the regular season, but I mean, not the second time around, but the third time around. I think the NFC Championship game, there was a team that went into that, and they had swept that team. And
that's right, perfect example. There you go.
Yeah. And so
it happens.
Is that what I don't know? I don't know if my facts is right. My memory's a little.
There you go. But Jimmy G, he was 7-1 against the Rams. So we're not cryptic in our messaging. He was 7-1. No, it's fine. Hey, listen, it's okay. Loss, losing is part of life. It's how you pivot, how you move on from that. So yeah, he was 7-1 against the Rams. He pretty much owns the Rams. And then we played them in the playoffs. They wound up beating us. There is no consultation or any kind of prize for losing. But
Right.
if you lose to someone, let it
Right.
be the team that goes on and wins the Super Bowl. I mean,
You take
there's
some
no
solace.
consolation, no consolation prize for that.
No, there
But
isn't. But
ultimately, if you
yeah,
go on and they go on and win the Super Bowl, then they were, a very good team.
well,
So hey, listen,
that's yeah. All right, I'll give you that. I'll give you that for the sake of the
yeah,
show. Y'all did beat them twice already this year too, so But yeah,
we won't see them in the playoffs this year.
yeah, you will not see the
I
Rams
mean,
in
we
the
won't.
playoffs. So yeah,
They won't be there as it used to. What was that from Good Times? You won't be there. That was an old Good Times. There's so
Good
many
times, yeah.
shows that you could take little quotes from and try
Oh
to
my
apply it
goodness,
to
yeah.
your try to apply it to your life. You won't be there, but
You-
or Magic Johnson. I won't be there. Yeah, they won't be there this year. So we won't have to worry about the
No, you
third
want to go with
time's the
Rams.
charm.
I
But
tell you what, I'll just say this little last piece. The Rams have to be the biggest disappointment, man. I have to say, a huge disappointment. But yeah,
well,
go
no,
ahead.
I'll say this. I disagree only because of this. Real quick,
Mm-hmm.
Jerry Jones said there is no check that I will not write in order to guarantee a Super Bowl. Right? Whether it's just blowing smoke or
That's
not.
definitely smoke.
It is smoke because they're
Go ahead.
cheap.
Yeah,
They're running their organization kind of like the Bengals now. They're getting real cheap with
Oh yeah.
opportunities to expand and get their team to the next level. But let's
Right.
just say that's not the case. They went all in. The Rams went all in yesterday. I mean, last year, and they cashed in and got a ring, right?
Yeah.
So does the end justify the means? Like it's for them. If they're terrible the next 5 years because they're cap poor, oh well, they
Right,
got a
and that's
ring.
the thing, though, right? But I mean, that's the sad part, though, because it's like, okay, you lost Von Miller to free agency, right? But when all into you still have a core that's there, right? You still got Donald, you got Ramsey on defense, you got Matt Stafford, who now he looks like the Stafford of Detroit for the most
Now,
part.
those
You know what I'm saying?
concussions, Matt
Yeah.
Stafford, they're
Matt-
going to give him.
Yeah.
They said, I don't know how true it is. Those red covers that they put on their helmets when they're practicing, he's going to have to start playing with that for the rest of the season when he comes back.
Is
I'm
that
just
right?
joking. That was a joke.
Oh, okay.
Nobody's wearing that red. That big.
I'm about to say
no.
because he don't even get hit in practice. So I'm saying,
No, the
quarterback.
concussion, he has had 2 concussions in 8 days or less than 8 days. No, within 10 days. So of course, how concussions work, I'm not a doctor, I don't play one on TV, but concussions, it is the amount of or how frequent you have the concussions. It gets worse and worse. So
They said right. It's not the first one; it's the subsequent ones, right?
So they have him in I guess once he gets checked out, they may put him in they have different tiers as to how long you're going to be out based on your concussion. And they may put him in a tier where it's a kind of a pseudo IR based on concussions. Because one is you might be back in a week. One is you have to be out for 10 days. One is an extended concussion protocol. And because of the frequency of his concussion, he may have to be in that one. So only time will tell. But why rush him back at that point? I mean, you got your only weapon, Cooper Kupp, out 6 to 8 weeks. He had a successful surgery. He's out 6 to 8 weeks. I mean, there's only 8 weeks left. You're not making the playoffs. The season's over. You really don't have a running back situation. All the other receivers, I mean, they should be fresh because and revived because no one throws the ball to them. You got a tight end that was kind of getting some action, but overall, and there's talk, and I don't know how true this is, but there's talk that McVay may just walk away from the game and just go up to the booth. I've heard that on several news and Twitter kind of situations where he may just walk away. And I mean, at the end of the day, it's just like anything else. You get your championship and you're a made man at that point, and they like young, kind of bravado-filled analysts. He would fit in perfectly. He has the cachet because he has a Super Bowl. He was the wonder kid until he was brought down to earth and started losing, and then he got out gracefully. So that might be, his move, and it wouldn't be a bad one. I mean, why go through the stresses of a full season and coaching and doing all that kind of year-round preparation when you can just prepare for a show and maybe travel here and there and better for the family,
he's
better
young
for
enough to get a job maybe 5 years from now if he chooses to get back into coaching. So he's still young enough. So, and he has a ring.
So lastly, let's just talk about something that is very exciting to me. Exciting for my beard because soon and very soon I will be seeing the barber and getting this, fixed up nicely. For those that don't know, I have said that I'm not going to shave or get a lineup. I'm not going to shave. I'm going to keep my beard. I mean, it kind of defeats the purpose of Brooklyn Beards and Ball if I come here with a a clean military GI chin and all that. But I'll say this. I'm not going to get a lineup until the Nets are, at least one game over, on the winning side. And we're 8-9 right now, which is exciting. But I said this maybe a few weeks ago. Not maybe. I definitely said this a few weeks ago that if Ben Simmons would give us, little is much when it's placed in the Nets' hands, right? So just give us a little bit. You don't have to give us 20 points a game, although he did. He gave us 20 points last game. Just give us something. Give us in the ballpark of 12, 10, and 6. 12 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists, because he has 6'10", 6'11". So that's not a hard task for him to get those kind of rebounds. And we know that he is a natural kind of distributor of the ball. It comes very natural to him. So the 6 assists, that's on the low side. But over the last 3 games, every game has played better.
Yes,
Kyrie came back against Memphis. Welcome back, Kyrie Irving, to the Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah.
And of course, Brooklyn won the game. But what the bigger story is that Ben Simmons, Mr. Simmons, came back and he looked like the Ben Simmons that was, a star player on Philly. The one that was kind of taking the league by storm. I think his numbers were 20, 12, and something else. I mean, I think he looked really good. There seemed like there was a chemistry. Him and Durant were moving the ball. I mean, Kyrie came back. He scored 14 points, but that's fine. Listen, this is the thing. When you have a big 3 and that big 3 is functioning, the 2 stars can interchange. So it doesn't require that it always has to be Kyrie and KD 30 and 30 or 30 and 28. It's interchangeable because Ben Simmons is very capable of having that 25-point game and 12 rebounds and 10 assists. I mean, triple doubles can happen very easily if they in the right scheme. The other role players are playing well, shooting well, 3-pointers. I mean, I am very encouraged by what I'm seeing. I also think that I will remind everyone that there's another team locally that is 8-9 also, right? And everybody had automatically said that they were going to repeat. That's the Warriors. So I'm not comparing myself to the Warriors, but I'm just saying.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure. Okay, because
No. I'm not comparing myself.
Okay.
I mean, I can't compare myself to the Lakers, can I? I mean, are we talking?
I mean, no, but
we're talking similar records.
I just thought you were trying to make some comparison between the start of this season between the world champion Golden State Warriors that have won about 4 chips already in the last 7 years or so to the dysfunctional, befuddled Brooklyn Nets. So I mean. The Warriors aren't really concerned about regular season, if the truth be told. But okay, but go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, that's fine. I
just make sure there was that sounded like apples and bananas.
No, I'm just excited because the Nets are they're coming around. They're coming around. They're not based on. Just think about this: adversity, dealing with dysfunction, dealing with media, dealing with cancel culture. We've all done that. We've all dealt with it. I shouldn't say we. The Brooklyn Nets have dealt with that, and it's not even 20 games into the season. And we're only one game under 500. That is exciting. That's exciting. That's exciting. Other teams would have crumbled, but Brooklyn has listen, the people from Brooklyn, Brooklyn Nets has that grit that will keep trucking. And I'm very excited by that. You say there's no Brooklyn anything in those players, but I beg to differ. I think that based on what they have gone through and persevered thus far, even if the team is blown up after this year, I think that they're going to give it a true run to see what they're going to ultimately be able to do. And I don't know why it's so funny. I don't know why it's funny, but thank you. Thank you for laughing.
You know, how has I don't even know what to say to this take you just gave me. Listen. Is your standards for the Nets that low to the degree that you have two of the best players arguably in the game today, and you're telling me that because they were able to overcome all of the outside noise that they created, okay, on their own, that they initiated, it was self-inflicted, however way you want to look at it.
We're 8-9. We're 8-9, and Kyrie was suspended for 8 games.
Listen.
So we didn't have our 2 stars, and ultimately, I don't know. Listen, you can laugh all you want. Okay. You can laugh all you want. At the end of the season, we will see where both of our teams, how they fare.
I listen. Again, another reasonable fan of the Lakers, like I am of my Cowboys. All right. Although the Lakers have won, 3 in a row, but we beat some teams that we should have beaten. We should beat, right? AD is rocking right now. Playing lights out, but we'll see, right? We don't know how long he'll stay healthy until
some high school in Moraga. You guys beat some high school team in Moraga. Ain't nobody special. No,
you're right. But we're at least beating teams that we should win. We couldn't even beat teams that we should beat. But but listen, again, my expectations for the Lakers are very tempered. It's very moderate. I have no expectations. I don't even think we're going to get in the play-in. Okay, really, honestly, I don't. Although I like Westbrook off the bench, Lakers look good with as far as that system is set up because Westbrook is really playing some good basketball. All right, so we got some winnable games coming up. We'll see how it works. We got the Spurs again on this back-to-back. But getting back to your Nets, okay, let me just say this to you, okay, as you are so excited about your 8-9 Nets and being able to weather the storm, as you said, with the first 17 games of the season. I will say this about Ben Simmons. Simmons, if he gets back to his regular form of what he was in Philly, I do think the Nets will be a problem to handle. No question about it. But here is the test, and here's what you're going to know right now, D, whether or not Ben Simmons is over the hump and he's getting back to where he needs to be. All of that will be determined tomorrow night. When he gets back into Philly and gets back on that court, can he withstand some of the most rambunctious, malicious, vicious invectives that are going to come his way when he gets out on that court, okay?
I don't have a problem. He is not going to have a problem. Trust me.
And I hope he doesn't. Listen.
You know what Embiid did? You know what Embiid did? He knew that Ben Simmons was coming, and Ben Simmons is starting to look. He took a hammer to his own foot. He took a hammer to his foot so he would not play. How is it that listen?
That he's not playing though. That ruins the whole comeback. For me.
No, it doesn't ruin. No, it doesn't. If we catch that L,
as a fan,
you're not going to say, "Oh, well," because Embiid wasn't there. If we catch that W, then you're not going to be. Hey, we can only play who's on the court, right? We can only play in football who's on the field. Right, so no, I agree. Ben Simmons, he is now talking. He's talking now. Yeah, Ben Simmons said, I'm going to take it one day at a time. I'm paraphrasing, but I'm taking it one day at a time. Yeah. He's not cowering away from the media. He's not trying to, kind of be passive aggressive. He is actually speaking up because he knows Tuesday is coming.
Right.
I mean, if we fast forward to the last time they played, he had on a yellow and black Gucci sweater and a diamond chain sitting on. They didn't. So last time he was in Philly, he was a bystander. He was just part of the crowd. Everyone clapping and but he's going to be playing. He will be starting,
Well,
and
but
I
you
think
don't
that Ben
think
Simmons is going to have a very good game.
right? Oh no, I listen. I hope he does, and like I said, I'm actually rooting for Ben Simmons. I understand.
Now we don't want you to now.
No, well, the
We don't
thing
want
is
you to.
this. I don't like the Nets. I mean, of course, I want to see the Nets. I want to see anybody fall other than my Lakers, right? Because that's just the kind of fan I am, right? I'm not rooting. I would never root for another team. But as far as a player to kind of see him overcome his personal issues and stuff, like I stood with Kyrie during this latest issue here that he had. Look, overall as a person, as a human being, I want to see him win. All right. But my thing is this: if Ben is able to withstand and play with his head in the game, not worried about the fans and what's coming. He said it in the press conference yesterday, or was it this morning? He said, look, I guess one of the reporters asked him about him coming back, and he kind of gave this little look and said, hey, it's Philly. I know what to expect. You know what I mean? I know what I'm going to get. He's ready for the smoke, and that's a good sign. I thought he even handled that well in terms of how he responded to the question that was asked regarding the fandom or the fans' reaction in Philly. So listen, if he's able to be in the game, because they're going to need him to be successful. And if he distributes, like you said, great point, dishing and dealing to KD and to Royce and to these other guys. You got Kyrie back now, like you said. Listen, because y'all got some shooters. Y'all got some guys that can play. I listen, the Nets look good, and y'all are playing good defense too. But Simmons,
we don't want you. I don't want you to come on over now. It's too late.
Oh no,
you had an opportunity when he was
no,
stretched out on the couch talking to his therapist. You had an opportunity to come over, but now that he has tackled his demons and he is moving forward, and now his game and his mental is aligning. We don't want people to come over. We don't want bandwagon.
So what's going to happen when he finally aligns, which I believe he will, and y'all still going to lose to either Milwaukee or Boston? What happens then?
Well, I'll say this: I like our chances against Boston, and I like our chances against Milwaukee. I like our chances. I think if we are if let's just say from this point forward, Ben Simmons plays consistently. He doesn't have to put up 20 points, like I said.
No, he doesn't.
If he stays in that 10, 12 to 15 points, 10 rebounds, 5-6 assists, if he stays consistent like that, there's no question.
Yeah.
No, I don't think he'll need more than that.
If he's going to be a ball dominant guard, he's going to need you really want him averaging close to 10 assists a game. If he's averaging about 10 assists a game, that's going to look really good for the Nets, because now he's really, really a general on the floor. He's really putting guys in position like he did in Philly, setting guys up, getting them in position. Listen, you want him to get more than 5 assists a game. You know what I mean? That's what you need.
I am not trying to. Those are obviously modest and just I'm lowballing the numbers because I think he can do a lot more. I'm just saying if he stays on that type of path where he's consistently putting those numbers up, right? So let's say he averages 8 assists. Let's say he's not 10 assists a game, but he averages 8 assists. I like our chances against Milwaukee. I like our chances because ultimately the scorers are going to be the scorers. So KD is going to put up numbers. Kyrie is going to put up numbers. You got shooters. And I think based on the way the East is laying out, as far as shooters and auxiliary pieces, I like our team. I like our team for shooters. I mean, we have some really, really good shooters, and I'm not trying to oversell it. I'm not trying to, make it bigger than what it is. But I think, and I've said this, and you can laugh. That's cool. People laugh all the time. People laugh until it comes full circle. And then they gotta, listen, but I don't want to text, you were right, D, because that text is going to be, I'm going to post that text. D, you was right. I didn't believe.
I'm going to do a Brett Favre on you. I'm going to get it pulled back.
Right. Exactly. Will they know, D, if I say, yes, you were right, that I can, nah. And that's cool because I got one of my boys I work with, huge Milwaukee Bucks fan, huge fan. Wow. So he's feeling good about what Milwaukee would do. But just think about this. KD almost won because there's no doubt in my mind. If they would have beat the
When did we
Bucks,
start this show? Did we start this show last year? Maybe I don't know. I don't.
okay.
But you love to go back to a year ago. Everything
That's cool. I mean, listen, if you a person that forgets their past is doomed to repeat it, right? So I don't want to forget about what the past. I want to keep that fresh in my mind while I'm moving forward, while I'm moving in the right direction. And so let's be clear. We don't have to reflect on we can talk this year moving forward. We don't want to talk about bubble. We don't have to talk about bubble championships anymore, right? We're not going to talk about that. We're not going to talk about. Let's not talk about a body of work, what LeBron's doing. Let's talk about what he's doing now, right?
I agree.
How many points did LeBron have last game? Let's talk about his stats then. What did he have last game?
I agree. No, LeBron hasn't played, but listen, LeBron
he had a glass of vino, and he was on the bench, right? He didn't. So what are we talking about?
But LeBron did bring his team a chip. Be it the bubble, okay? KD has not
be it the Brooklyn Beards and Ball. He bought him a chip. But see, I thought we're not supposed to be talking about yesteryear.
Well, I'm just trying to say. I mean, but okay, you're right. I mean, LeBron is hurt, but he's coming back. He's coming back. He's been way more healthy in his career than KD, that's for sure. But he's 38 years old. What you expect him to be? He's breaking down a little bit. It happens. But it's cool. It's cool. But the 8 and 9 next, let's clap it up. I like 8 and 9.
I don't like any condescending claps. Keep your condescending claps, brother. It's all good. We will look back at this in a month, and let's see how we look then. Let's see how we look then.
Yes. Let's see.
Because one thing about this is documented. This doesn't go anywhere.
No, it doesn't.
Just your sarcasm and your 8 and 9. Let's clap it up. Okay, no problem. That's all good. But Rod, listen, it was a pleasure talking to you, man.
Always, man.
Listen, we got some real football to look at in about 20 minutes. You know how a team whose trajectory is heading towards the Super Bowl should look, not beating up on fraudulent cousins, but we're playing a real team, and we're in Mexico. It doesn't matter where they send us. They only see when put it like this. You want a team to represent you, your representation or who you are. You want to put your best foot forward, right? So Mexico City, we want you to see the best that the NFL has to display. We don't want to send you no teams. We want to send no period teams. We want to send you a team that you can look good at. You want to see how they play. You want to see a offense that is exciting. I know.
I like to say, if you lose to Colt McCoy,
I will shave half my beard. No, I'm not going to shave. If we lose to Colt McCoy, my karate is a joke at that point. I don't have any. I got nothing to say. Everything Colt McCoy. Let me tell you. Like I said, Colt McCoy.
He's been playing good, but you ain't supposed to lose to Colt McCoy.
We're not supposed to lose to Colt McCoy. We're not supposed to lose to him. But I do think it'll be closer than any 10-point or double-digit, spread. So once again, Rod, it has been fantastic talking with you. Bro. Please, everyone who is watching, like, subscribe, share, comment. We appreciate some of the comments that people made on the whole Giannis debate. And old. I don't. How can I describe that dude's lips? Old Montrezl Harrell. I don't want to go into that.
Harrell.
Yeah, but it disgusting. Just despicable. And then someone pointed out that we didn't want players. The workers that work there didn't need to be there at 2:00 and stay there till 2:00 in the morning until Montrez finished his shoot around. Giannis. Right. Well, Giannis was shooting, and someone pointed out that, the workers want to go home. Why should they be there till 2 a.m.? Well, Montrez doesn't care about them. Montrez went to the other end,
and
banging his chest and started shooting. But I don't know if the video showed, Giannis, what did he do? He went to the locker room, got 2 more balls, and came on out. Good for you, Giannis. Good for you.
Well,
Stick
that's
up
good
for yourself.
Giannis. I mean, but again, but he still got punked though. He got punked in the city of Philly because again, it's just something you don't do, man. I don't care. And I know MB did it in New Orleans and other players. I read the comments, and if that was Kobe or anybody else, they wouldn't have done it. They used to do it, that kind of thing. But
if it was LeBron, they wouldn't have done. But Montrezl Harrell, he thinks
because he's from Philly.
He thinks that Embiid is low hanging fruit, and because he is so respectful and he is such a gentleman how he conducts himself, other than obviously the little outburst and pushing the ladder down. But for the most part, being in that position in the NBA, he has carried himself really well. He's a humble guy.
Very nice. He's a humble
but don't take his kindness for weakness.
No,
and someone pointed out, get the brother who got all the energy and ain't putting up no points. Let your hands go. Let his brother, Thanasis, or Thanos, whoever his brother is, let your hands go. Put them rings on, put all purple rings on, and let your hands go on Montrezl Harrell. Listen, they're not gonna miss you. If they suspend you, they ain't gonna miss you. You average -2 points a game. So punch them in the face and after game, let them suspend you, and then just keep it moving.
Right. Listen, but D, he said Thanos. Listen,
but whoever is the Nas, they all got 47 syllable names.
Yeah. Let them.
So.
Oh God, I feel you on that, D. I feel you on that, though, man. But listen, I don't know if he'll do that. I would love to see him do that in another city and see how that plays out, though. You know what I'm saying? Just to see the pattern of how it works.
But there's a lot of copycats. So, now that has gotten, and people do that for clicks, they do that for likes. So now that Montrezl Harrell has kind of set this precedent, someone else will be looking to grab the ball and go home and, stuff that's unnecessary, So I don't think it's an original thing, but, Montrezl Harrell kind of started it and now it's because, Giannis is such a great player. Of course, people want to take their shots. They take your shots on the court. Shut them down. How about that? That's how you get your respect. Shut them down.
That's how you do them. I mean, the shoot after the game is
no. I'm talking about Montrezl Harrell. Shut him down. Shut Giannis down on the court. That's how you do it. You don't grab the ball, and that's not the way to do it. People don't like. When they perfect example. If people think that even in NBA, NFL, if they feel like in college sports, don't run the team, don't run the points up on the team. Have there's no mercy rule. If you want to stop a team, then stop the team. That's how you do it.
Right. Well, I think that's the point that Montrez was making when he took the ball. Like, in other words, listen, we beat you, all right. And my man Joel gave you the elbow, all right, to just jockey for position to let you know I'm still the best big man in the league. At least that's in his mind.
Joel is out injured now. Joel did that, and let's talk about how Joel needs milk. Joel needs some milk.
No, you're right.
How are you giving a flagrant foul and you go down?
Right. No, I feel. I agree. But that's the point. But to your point, when it's okay to run up the score on a team, right? That's okay, because you know what? That's part of the game. And if you want to stop them, or if you don't want to be made ashamed, then you stop them. Well, it's the same difference, bro. And when you taking free throws in somebody else's court after they done beat you, now all of a sudden you want to keep people out late. Now who's gonna pay for that overtime? Now you want to go out and try.
So that's Montrezl Harrell is balancing the books. He cares about overtime.
No. But what
he's doing payroll.
Listen, you disrespecting our city. You disrespecting the victory. You undermining what we did, and you gonna sit here on our court, and then you gonna put up free throws.
Montrezl Harrell, hit the showers, man. Why are you not taking just hit the showers?
That's what Giannis should have did. Hit the showers, bro. That's it. Take that back. Listen, you can put a basketball court on the plane if you want to. Shoot some free.
Didn't they have one on Soul Plane? They had all kind of stuff. Right. They had everything on Soul Plane. So hey, on Soul Plane. Right. All right, but listen, we could go on and on about this. Once again, thank you, Rod. It was a pleasure, man. Awesome, once again, like, subscribe, please, comment. We appreciate it. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
Go Niners. Game starts in 14 minutes. Until next time. Peace.